Exodus 1 opens about 400 years after the close of Genesis. Joseph and his brothers had died and their entire generation was gone. Yet the people of Israel were fruitful and multiplied greatly, filling the land of Egypt. But a new king arose over Egypt who did not know Joseph. He saw Israel's growing numbers as a threat. He said to his people, "Behold, the people of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. And if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land." So the Egyptians set taskmasters over the Israelites to oppress them with forced labor. They built Pharaoh's store cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. The Egyptians dreaded the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly, making their lives bitter with hard service in brick and mortar, in the fields, and in all kinds of harsh labor. Then Pharaoh escalated his cruelty. He commanded the Hebrew midwives Shiphrah and Puah to kill every male child at birth but let the daughters live. Yet the midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded. They let the boys live. When Pharaoh confronted them, they answered, "The Hebrew women are vigorous and give birth before the midwife comes to them." Because the midwives feared God, he blessed them with families of their own. But Pharaoh hardened his decree further. He commanded all his people, saying, "Every son that is born you shall cast into the Nile, but every daughter you shall let live." Exodus 1 sets the stage for deliverance. God's people multiplied despite oppression. The schemes of Pharaoh could not stop God's promises to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Israel's suffering would become the backdrop for God's mighty acts of salvation. This chapter reminds us that the purposes of God cannot be stopped by the cruelty of men. The more the enemy pressed Israel, the more God caused them to grow. And even in dark times, God raised up people of courage like the midwives who feared him more than kings. Next comes Exodus 2, the story of a child born under Pharaoh's decree, hidden in a basket, drawn out of the water and raised in Pharaoh's own house. God was preparing his deliverer, Moses.